Before I am accused of pearl clutching by anyone, please see yourself out. Thank you. To be able to speak on a number of issues we have in society and around the world is an honor and a privilege. The ability to speak freely is a right that we all should have. In many countries, that is not the case. In some, it is enshrined within constitutions, amendments, and bills of rights. In others, it is considered a right, but actually isn't. I always believe, and have done so since I was a child, that every person should have the right to speak freely, and that includes of consequence. Free of, that is. If you don't have that ability, then you are not freely able to speak. Sharing ideas, challenging each other, is vitally important to all discourse and for societal improvement. To also help others see a path forward when they are what is considered to be lost. If that happens, there is a chance for people to, as a group, a tribe, a collective, a family, to go forward. And before someone says, oh, that's too idealist, you can also see yourself out as well. Bye. I will not waste energy on people who cannot understand this or feel too pedantic to have to pointlessly correct it. Yesterday, and I've seen other videos as well, in fact, actually it was all yesterday, I saw videos of two separate people being unalived. One, a video of a lady, for no reason whatsoever on a train, being stabbed by a guy who had been arrested so many times before, people are calling for the judge to be arrested, that let the man go repeatedly. And the other was Charlie Kirk, the founder of Turning Point, a father of two, a man that went to college campuses and many other places to challenge ideas. Whether you agreed with him or not doesn't matter. What you should agree on is that he had every right to challenge them, regardless of what he challenged them on, because that's how we get stronger and better. If all we ever do is just believe what we're told to believe, we go nowhere. We trust people who will control us. While doing one of these events, Charlie Kirk was shot through the neck, and he sadly passed away. I found this out while I was streaming yesterday, that he had passed, that he'd been shot. I didn't know what to say. I saw the video from range, and then I unfortunately saw the one from close up. He was done the moment he was struck, and whoever the coward was, I hope you go to prison for the rest of your life. Some will want something stronger. That's on you. Life. Neutral loaf, nothing more. Anyone that uses quotes of Charlie Kirk to rage bait on Twitter, you can see yourself out as well. Him supporting the Second Amendment does not change anything. It's not a cheap gotcha, which is what you're trying to do. People all around the world are condemning this. Some because they are trying to look good. Yes, of course. Others are condemning it because they're right to. Because this is becoming a very poisonous battlefield right now in the realm of politics, and people need to learn to simmer down. But now somebody's been made a martyr for free speech, which is exactly what has happened now. Well done, by the way, to the person too dumb to realise that, and the people too thick who are laughing and justifying it all over Blue Sky and TikTok. There is no justification at all. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Something that needs to be tattooed on every single person on this sodding planet, to grasp that really words don't hurt. Actions do. We know that now, because apparently someone got so offended by words they took it to hurt someone. We have seen this far too often recently, at schools, colleges. We've seen it in virtually every country of this planet. All year we've seen this unnecessary harm to other people's lives. And every time we're told, oh, it's just a mental health thing. Blah, 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 blah. People are losing their jobs because of the stance they're taking. and they deserve to. How dare you be journalists and try and find a way to fob it off? You weren't covering the Ukrainian girl that got stabbed, were you now? None of you did. In fact, it was people on the side Charlie Kirk is on, a conservative side, who highlighted the discrepancy. You don't have to agree with his stance on abortion. You don't have to agree with his stance on religion, immigration, making America great. You don't have to agree with any of it, but you do have to agree that free speech for all has to exist, free of consequence. Ideas need to be heard, because if they're not heard, who's controlling that information? Nobody should control that information. And if you can't like those words, walk away, tune it out. That's all you ever have to do. There are many different detractors of Charlie Kirk that exist in this world. There are those like Harry Sisson, who is currently deleting all his anti-Charlie Kirk content from his TikTok because he knows the optics. There are those like Hassan Piker, who is just posting about the situation but not giving any empathy, which is ironic from a guy who keeps saying that he is a part of this argument, the party, the side of an argument that is empathetic. No condemnation. Merely people challenging whether or not the person who committed the horrible deed is mentally well. People calling for more gun control, as if that was the problem to begin with. And then before now someone says, but it is, you can go as well. Bye. Honestly, I am so done with this. I was talking to somebody last night about my feelings on this, because it actually hurt my feelings a little and made me worry. And my first response was, I never want to step foot in the United States. I really don't. That was my initial response. A family have lost a husband and a father, all because of words. And considering the fact he was willing to talk to anyone, was he really the problem? Or is it the intolerant pricks who sought to harm him at every opportunity and then succeeded? Which is not a success, by the way, because you've just turned a generation of people against you. Congratulations. Those who are celebrating are a minority. They really are. No wonder they're on Blue Sky and Shit Talk. Two dead platforms that should go the way of the dinosaurs in a hurry. By making a martyr out of Charlie Kirk, you have now made this an even bigger and more aggressive and problematic issue. Instilling fear into others isn't going to work. It is not going to stop people from challenging ideas. It is not going to stop people from standing up for themselves. But if you are willing to resort to using the very violence you want gun control for, you are part of the problem. If you find a way to justify it, you are part of the problem. If you want a bigger government, you're a part of the problem. There are people now calling for greater action to be taken against those that call for violence on social media, because influencers influence. Which is why people are now attacking the likes of Harry Sisson, Dean Withers, Hassan Piker, and so on. The only genuine voice of reason I saw from the Democratic side was Cenk Uygur, who actually cared enough on video to state how terrible this was. It wasn't from politicians like Elizabeth Warren, who tried to use Trump as a scapegoat for it. The cute deflections of MSNBC, and of politicians who do not grasp this, or those who use it to virtue signal, you are part of the problem and you need to accept it. If I use it for other countries, the United Kingdom bans most knives, yet knife crime is insanely high, the sharpest object of which we use is a screwdriver. Not banned yet, but it's the one we use the most apparently. We have issues in Canada. We have it in New Zealand. We have it in many countries actually, thinking about it, don't we now? But everyone's so busy ignoring that to suit what they think is right for them, they're ignoring what matters the most. Now, innocent people are being harmed. And Charlie Kirk was innocent. It makes me so angry that people have gone online to justify, to rationalize, to deflect, project, to make it seem like a different issue entirely, proving they did not understand the point. Free speech must be absolute. By shooting Charlie Kirk, you have said no, it isn't. I have never believed that free speech is free of consequence if the consequence is word. Because consequences of word are debates and discussion, it's discourse, it's healthy. Consequence at the end of a gun is not right. It tells me how inferior you are as a person. You lack humanity. Again, an ironic trait from people who seem to champion the notion that they are empathetic. It pushes more people to look at what Charlie Kirk said, the merit of his actions, and you realise all he ever did was speak, and that bothered you. That's a you problem, not a him problem, and if you didn't like what he had to say, all you had to do was tell him and explain yourself. It is my sincerest hope that the person who did this gets the heaviest sentence they can ever receive. The family of Charlie Kirk are given the time to heal, and that Charlie isn't forgotten. Again, you can like or dislike him all you want, but if you can find one reason to justify what happened yesterday, you are the problem. Because if you are against him being able to speak, you are an oppressor, not a saviour. You're not a hero. He's just been made one by an idiot, by a feckless clown who ironically went to a campus where you're supposed to be challenged, where you're supposed to learn, where you're supposed to become the future of your country. Utah University, UVU, UWU, whatever it's called, is under a lens now, and it's going to hurt them going forward. I don't know if I've managed to articulate what I think properly, because I'm still quite angry about it. I'm angry about all the incidents that have happened recently because it's just compounding. The world has lost a lot of good people this year. And I say good because the vast majority of those, especially in the online space that we lost, they weren't bad people, they just challenged you. Irina Zarutska, the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee, stabbed by DeCarlos Brown Jr., a 31-year-old father, both of which should be spoken about, to highlight two very important points. This is not pearl clutching. This is not me trying to virtue signal or monetize any shit, because this isn't getting monetized by me. Don't try me. This is the point that people think they have the right to harm others' cause. And the reasons always end up being mentally unwell. Stop making excuses for shitty behaviour. I hope both and all that have been harmed this year by senseless, wanton destruction and harm rest. They deserve it. And to those that caused them harm, I hope you face justice.